Imagine that it's January 1st and you create your brand new New Year's resolution to get back on track, become your healthiest self, and finally create that lifestyle change that you've been looking for. You promise yourself that there's going to be no more binge eating, no more emotional eating, no more sugar or processed foods, no more falling off track. You're going to work out consistently, eat healthy, and finally lose that weight. Okay, now fast forward to now, the end of January. Have you been able to stick to your New Year's resolution? If you have, do you think you'll be able to continue it for the rest of the year? Or is 2024 going to look exactly like 2023, where you spend the rest of the year trying to get back on track? You keep yo-yo dieting, on and off diets. You keep weight cycling where you're gaining weight and losing weight, gaining weight and losing weight. In fact, maybe you continue to notice your weight trickling up. And then summer rolls around and you think, okay, it's hot girl summer. I got to get my summer beach body ready. Except you keep falling off track. You keep self-sabotaging. So then you go into summer totally ashamed of your body and you can't really even enjoy summer for what it is. And then the holidays come up and you think, whatever, it's the holidays. I'm going to eat whatever I want, let loose, and then restart January 1st. And thus, 2024 ends up exactly like 2023, and 2025 starts off the same way every single year prior has started off. Yeah, let's not do that this year. Hey sisters, it's Kirsten here with Totus Wellness, and if you're like 99% of the people out there, I'm willing to bet that your New Year's resolution had something to do with health and fitness, that you're already struggling to stay on track, and that it looked a whole lot like last year's New Year's resolution. So today we're going to go over why your New Year's resolution failed last year so it doesn't happen again this year, and what to do instead. We're going to cover the top 6 mistakes that you are making with your New Year's resolution. Let's dive right in. Mistake number 1, the all or nothing mindset. The all or nothing mindset 100% comes from diet culture, and it looks like this. Either you're on your diet, you're counting macros, you're counting calories, you're eating perfectly clean, you're working out every day, or you're not doing any of that. You're binging on sugar, you're eating fast food every day, you're not getting any movement in, and you feel kind of miserable. You will never, ever make progress with this all or nothing mindset. Our bodies are way more intricate than trying to reduce them down to a set of rules that you either follow or you don't. We're going to get into the solutions a little bit later, but we're going to hop right over to mistake number 2, implementing too much too fast. You're probably feeling so overwhelmed and guilty from the holiday season that you want to hurry up and implement all these new healthy habits as soon as possible, as soon as January hits. You've been scrolling Instagram and listening to podcasts, and you have this whole list of all these things that you're going to implement for good in 2024. Here's why that is never going to work. There is a part of your brain, I call it your critter brain, and this part of your brain hates change. The more change you implement and the faster you implement that change, the more this critter brain freaks out. It actually sees change as a threat. So if you start implementing a ton of change all at once, your critter brain actually thinks that your life is in danger. And it will do everything in its power for you to go back to the way things were before, which is what causes self-sabotage. Where you know what you should be doing, you just can't get yourself to implement it in a consistent and sustainable way. Implementing 20 or even 10 new rules all at once is not how you're going to create sustainability. Mistake number 3, you are starting something way too restrictive. Do not go on keto. Do not try carnivore. Do not try that restrictive paleo diet or Whole30 fix, or for that matter, any other restrictive diet labeled as a lifestyle change. When have these ever worked for you long term? I hear a lot of people say things like, well, it worked for me, but then such and such got in the way, or it worked for me for a little bit, but then I fell off track. If it worked for a few months or even a couple years, but then you could not maintain it through holidays or vacations or just life in general, then it did not work, period. So don't keep going back to the same restrictive diets over and over and over again because it worked for a little bit. Despite what you see on social media, only about 2% of those people are going to stick to those diets for longer than 5 years. In fact, diets like this are why 3 in 4 women have some form of disordered eating. When you over-restrict food, your body can actually code that as trauma because it thinks that you are experiencing famine. It makes your cravings way stronger to the point where you assume you're addicted to food. It actually makes it way harder for you to lose weight. It affects your metabolism negatively, and it is incredibly harmful and inflammatory to your body. This is why you can lose some weight, but then end up regaining that weight back, if not more, and slowly your weight just keeps trickling up and up and up, and it becomes harder and harder and harder to lose that weight. Your lifestyle changes are too restrictive. If these so-called lifestyle changes cause you to constantly lose and gain weight, then you are doing more harm to your body than if you just had never started those diets in the first place. And let's not even get into the fact that it takes a huge toll on both your mental and spiritual health. I've been there, and I've helped so many women out of that place. Your body's number one goal is to get enough food and a wide variety of it. So if you are not meeting this basic need, your body is going to rebel against you at some point. In fact, research shows that you are 133% more likely to overeat the exact foods you restrict. This is why so many people are caught in this binge restrict cycle, or this overeating restrict cycle, or this emotional eating restrict cycle. This is why so many women think they are addicted to food when really they are just overly restricting food. Mistake number 4, your goals are shame driven. You believe that if you can stick to your diet, you will lose weight and you will no longer feel this burden of shame or fear of judgment. This is a lie straight from the devil. This, in fact, is hell's perspective, which is if I do this thing perfectly, I can have this stuff that will then make me be someone of value. God actually says you already are my daughter. You already are someone of value. And because of what Christ did, you already have access to everything you need to then do the Father's will, which might be stewarding your body. But if you're operating from I do so that I can have, so that I can be, you are operating from hell's perspective. But if you are operating from I am and I already have, and that's what guides what I do, you are operating from heaven's perspective, and that is how you are going to steward your body consistently. The devil makes you believe that you can heal your shame apart from God with perfectionism and performance. God alone can heal your shame. You've got to stop pursuing health from a place of shame. Mistake number 5, you're idolizing comfort. I am an expert in behavior change, and the number one reason women self-sabotage any of their goals is because they are idolizing comfort. Trust me, I am currently working through this. Deep down, there's a part of you that believes if you can just get your health figured out, then your life is going to be perfect, that you're going to have a nice, cushy, comfortable life. If you are trying to get healthy for your own personal ease and comfort, you're on the wrong path. Again, here you are trying to earn something separate of God. So spiritually, this doesn't work, but psychologically, it doesn't even work because we know that the critter brain hates change. Therefore, change is inherently uncomfortable. And on another spiritual level, the enemy is going to make your healing journey uncomfortable because he does not want you to steward the gift of your body. Which is why if you're pursuing health in order to have an easier or more comfortable life, you're probably going to quit as soon as things become uncomfortable. And finally, number 6, centering your goals around weight loss. If you have to work out 7 days a week, count calories, ignore your body's needs, and restrict food in order to attain your goal weight, then your goal weight is not healthy, nor is it realistic. Not only is there tons and tons of research to support the fact that weight loss driven goals do not lead to better health outcomes. In fact, they lead to worse health outcomes. But usually weight loss goals are shame driven. Again, we know that shame-driven goals never work. We also know that between 95 to 98% of people who modify their food choices in order to lose weight will regain that weight, if not more, within 5 years. I could do an entire video on why pursuing weight loss in order to improve your health or your body image is not going to work long term. We should be working to increase health promoting behaviors regardless of weight. We should be working to heal body shame regardless of weight. And also, when has pursuing weight loss ever worked for you mentally, spiritually, or physically long term. The majority of those influencers that you see on social media that have kept the weight off are living a very unrealistic lifestyle, even though they probably will not admit it, or are actually battling some form of disordered eating or a full-blown eating disorder, and again, probably don't even know it. And the reason I know this is because I used to be a part of that influencer type community. I lived and breathed fitness, and I was praised by the entire community when I was battling orthorexia. A lot of people in this community are battling an eating disorder or disordered eating and don't even know it because they are getting praised for it. Okay, on to the solution. Solution number 1, this might surprise you, but start with the smallest thing that you know you can follow through with. This really helps my clients with the all or nothing mindset because you might tell yourself something like, well, if I can't walk for 30 minutes or if I can't walk for an hour, then it's pointless. I might as well not do it at all. So you wait and you wait and you wait until you can walk for an hour, which hardly ever happens because you're starting with too big of a goal right up front. If you are prone to self-sabotage and you can't walk consistently for an hour every single day, you need to make a smaller goal. For some of my clients, that literally means starting with a 5-minute walk 3 times a week. And when that becomes a habit, they can start to build upon that. And what ends up happening is you slowly start to work your way up to 30 minutes 3 days a week, an hour 3 days a week, an hour 5 days a week. But you never would have got to that hour 3 to 5 days a week if you hadn't just admitted that, you know what, I need to start with a smaller goal. I'm going to start with what I absolutely know I can follow through with, which is 5 minutes 3 times a week. And even if you stay there for a little bit, that's more than you're doing now, trying to convince yourself that 5 minutes doesn't count or 5 minutes isn't worth it. I need to walk longer, and then you just never do it. Behavior change just doesn't happen all at once. As much as we want that instant gratification, it's not how it works. Starting with the smallest thing you know you can follow through with is exactly how we break through the all or nothing mindset, where it's I'm either walking 1 hour every single day or I'm not walking at all. You don't need to start all at once. What you need to start with, if you're struggling with self-sabotage and the all or nothing mindset, is to start getting in the habit of simply showing up for yourself, of simply following through with what you say you're going to do. So don't try to start this huge habit from this all or nothing mindset. First things first, get in the habit of simply showing up for yourself and following through. So if that means you have to start small, start small. Solution number 2, make a progressive action plan. So you don't want to just stay at 5 minutes 3 days a week forever. It's good to try to progress that and add on to that. This is actually something that I lay out for all of my clients in Integro, because I know that if you want to stop binge eating, let's say, you're not just going to stop binge eating just because I tell you to stop binge eating. The first step would be to actually stop restricting and get out of diet mentality. The next step would be to learn to interpret your cravings, so you're not just eating whatever you want, whenever you want, with no regard to your health. Then we need to address stress, and we need to address your hunger and fullness cues and build those up. And we need to progress through each of these steps in a certain order so that each builds on top of each other. Soon you'll be binging less and less, and before you know it, you won't even remember the last time you binged. And I have this exact step-by-step formula already laid out for you in Integro. It's like nothing you've ever tried before. I don't just hand you a set of rules and guidelines and expect you to magically follow through with them. We need to get to the root of your binge eating and emotional eating and body shame and yo-yo dieting before you're gonna make any kind of progress. I like to say small hinges swing big doors. So little by little, a little becomes a lot. And that's not my quote. I don't remember who said it, but it's a lovely quote. Solution number 3, it's a big one. Stop dieting. Diets have been around since the 1800s. And let me tell you something, there is not a single new diet that is going to come out in 2024. There was not a single new diet that came out in 2023. They're all the same diets marketed slightly different to seem novel. People have been dieting for literally hundreds of years, and nobody is a bit healthier because of them. In fact, we carry more body shame than we ever have, and there's more people struggling with disordered eating than ever. You need to try something you never tried before, like a faith-based intuitive eating approach, where you're not over here and restricting and hating life because you can't eat anything you enjoy, and you don't want to be stuck over here where you're just eating whatever you want, whenever you want, with no regard to your health. We need to find the middle ground where you are enjoying what you're eating while also nourishing your body, where you can learn to work with the body God gave you rather than against the body God gave you. where you can actually learn to nourish your body from a place of love rather than shame. Solution number 4, make sure your goals are God-driven goals. Stop blaming your lack of success on your lack of motivation. The reason you're not seeing results is because you are approaching health from a place of shame. And I know this because I work with a lot of moms out there. When your child wakes up at 3 a.m. with puke all down his PJs, puke all down the hall, puke in his bed, what makes you get up and care for your child? I guarantee you're not jumping out of bed going, hooray, I can't wait to clean up my child's puke at 3 a.m. So why do you do it? It's not motivation, it's love. If moms ran on motivation, this world would be in so much trouble. The reason you're able to care for your child is because you believe they are worthy of being taken care of. The only way you're ever going to take care of yourself is if you believe you are worthy of being taken care of. The only way you're going to steward your body is from a place of love, which is why it is so important to make your goals God-centered, because the only way you're going to approach anything from a place of love is if God is leading the way, because God is love. Solution number 5, practice getting uncomfortable. Our world preys on your brain's desire to be comfortable. I think Pope Benedict XVI said, "The world offers you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness." So not only is being a Christian inherently uncomfortable, but we also have to be willing to be uncomfortable if you want to be great at anything. You have to persevere through the uncomfortableness, persevere in faith, and trust that as you align your goals with God, you will be able to steward and nourish your body consistently. When you're pursuing health, your eyes should be fixed on God, because if your eyes are fixed on God, everything else will be added to you. But if your eyes are fixed on gaining and achieving comfort, you're never going to get to where you want to go. You're not going to earn comfort with your fitness goals. By the way, you're not going to earn love or worth with your fitness goals either. You can't get any of these things outside of God Himself. The world says pursue comfort for the sake of comfort. God says pursue me and all these things will be added to you. And finally, solution number 6, center your goals around behavior, not a number on the scale. Did you know that research says that the more you focus on trying to control your body, the less you actually like your body? Because it makes you fixate on all the things that are wrong with your body. You also find yourself constantly comparing your body to other people to make sure that your body is the best body. This is a big problem when research also shows that the more you accept your body, the more you nourish it, the more you engage in health promoting behaviors. You think that if you lose weight, then you'll like your body. That is completely backwards. That's what the world sells to you. In fact, that's what the devil sells to you, so that you end up on this hamster wheel of shame, never being able to get off of it. The reality is, when you start pursuing health from a place of love, when you start recognizing the gift of your body, when you start recognizing your worth and healing body shame and learn to accept your body regardless of its weight, then it's actually easier to engage in consistent health promoting behaviors, because now you have a desire to want to take care of something that you actually care about and love. What makes you think you would ever take care of something that you didn't like? There you have it, ladies. If you are able to implement these tips into your life, you will build consistent and sustainable healthy habits in 2024. If you're looking for a program that provides accountability, support, and a step-by-step solution to healing your relationship with food and body with God at the center, where I teach you how to build consistent and sustainable healthy habits, then head over to my website, totuswellness.com, or book your discovery call. Both are linked down below.